How can I train my brain to stay present? Uh, Mended light. Welcome to Ask the Therapist, where you, the viewers, sound off in the comments, ask me your questions, and I do my best to answer them here in our videos. So today's question is, how do I train my brain to stay present? And this is a perfect question for me because this has been a lifelong struggle. Yay! I have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I'm less fidgety now than I was as a kid, though I still fidget quite a bit. I tend to pay attention better if I'm doing something with my hands, right? If I'm writing or whatever. And I often zone out unintentionally. It's caused problems in my friendships and relationships because people don't, and even at work sometimes, which is really bad for a therapist because people are there to be heard and for you to help them. And it was an occupational hazard for me. Like, it was an occupational liability for me. If I couldn't stay present, then I couldn't follow what was going on, then I couldn't help people, then I don't have a job, right? And then my family doesn't eat. So it was a big deal. So I want to talk about my process on this, my personal experience, as well as a little bit just of what I know, what the research says. Staying present. I love meditation. I love meditation because it is not my natural setting. With an ADHD brain, I am constantly thinking about multiple things, bouncing back and forth between them. And what happens with my brain is my brain will go somewhere exciting or fun or interesting, or I'm trying to work through a problem or a challenge. But if I'm talking to somebody, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying this is how it works. Then the natural thing is it's like a pendulum. Like, my brain will go over here where I want to be, and then it'll swing back in to check in really fast. Check in, their lips are still moving. I heard about 4 or 5 words. Yep, that's the context of that, so I understand what they're saying, and I can probably guess what they're going to say next. At least so I think, right? And then I swing back over here to some other place that I'd like to be, or some other thing that's weighing on my mind. It's not always fun, like things that are weighing, and then I swing back, and I'm like, okay, they're still talking, what are they saying? And then I'll respond. I'll pay close enough attention. If they've stopped talking, I'll respond. Now, this is more in my personal life than professionally, because professionally, like, I was aware from day one, you got to focus, man. You got to be present. But the struggle, right, is how do I just stay here when it's so natural for the pendulum to do this? How do I stay here when staying here makes me fidgety? I'm not like this with movies, for example, because with movies there's so much going on that my brain just stays engaged with all of it, because I can pay attention to the story and I can pay attention to what I'm feeling and what's going on with the characters, but I can also pay attention to what the wardrobe department was up to, or the visual effects, or the practical effects, right? Or the musical score, or pay attention to the screenwriting, that someone actually wrote this and put this thing together, right? That there's the art department, I pay attention to all of it, and I can stay present. So back to meditation. Movies for me were my first meditation, because what is meditation? It's focusing your mind on one thing and pushing out everything else. So I'd focus on the movie and push out everything else. And it was easy to do that because movies are entertaining. Being present when someone's talking about something that you find boring, or being present more than the boring thing at this point for me, being present when someone's talking about something that's overwhelming. You know, you feel ill-equipped to deal with it. You're not sure what to say or what to do, and your brain's like, "Let's get out of here. Let's go somewhere." That's the challenge. So what helps me to stay present? I've got a mental exercise where I see my brain as a little lamb that likes to wander off. I tell the lamb, let's go down to the brook and have a drink, and the lamb goes, ooh, butterflies, and just like starts chasing the butterflies. I tell my brain, hey, it's time to go home, and the brain says, 5 more minutes. I want to go see the sunset. I have to go up on the hill to get a better view of it. So if my brain's the little lamb, then I am the shepherd. And my job is to gently bring it back, right? Use the shepherd's hook and gently bring it back and say, come on, this is where we are. And this mental exercise actually helps me because when I'm trying to be present in a moment and I'm getting bored, or I'm not bored, but I'm getting overwhelmed. And so I need an escape because this is too stressful or scary or sad for me. Or it's all good. I'm actually enjoying this conversation. And my brain and this little lamb is still like, yeah, this is nice. Hey, what's going on over here? that I just remind myself I'm the shepherd and I say, come back, little lamb. Come back, little lamb. This is where we are. And the brain, just like anything else, just like any other organ in the body, benefits from exercise, or from the muscles in your body benefits from exercise. And so I just shepherd my brain back and say, come on back, come on back. And what helps me is I make it concrete. Like I actually imagine a lamb-sized brain going bah with little legs, wandering, and I imagine me with the hook bringing it back. So when it comes to the brain being like a muscle that just needs exercise, the more you bring it back, the faster you catch it when it starts to wander. Because before it would wander for 5, 10, 15 minutes this happened a lot in class, right, growing up in school, and until I realized that it had wandered because I was just along for the ride. And then I said, okay, I got to bring it back. The more mindful I was of, okay, I'm going to be present. And I set the intention, right? If I'm talking to someone, this person's important to me, I want to connect with them, and I want to make sure they feel heard, then I set the intention, and I say, brain, we're going to stay here. And then when it wanders, it's easier for me to grab it and to catch it quicker. You know, instead of 2 or 3 minutes, catch it within 30 seconds, and then down to 20, 10, 15, 5. And now, when I'm fully present in a moment, and my mind doesn't wander, I can still feel it. I'm not making this up. I can still feel it trying. But I've got it in my embrace, and I'm saying, we're staying here. Right? We're just staying right here, little lamb. And what works for me is I promise my brain time to wander later on. And as an adult with a family and a career and people that I'm trying to help and things that I'm trying to accomplish with my life, it helps me to say, it helps me to do that. Instead of I just have to be disciplined all the time and focused all the time, I know myself that I need time for my brain to just kind of do whatever it wants to do to relieve that tension, and so I block it out. Usually it's when I go to sleep. Just close my eyes and let it go where it wants, as long as it's not racing. Also, when it comes to being present, there are physical things that you can do, right? You can ground yourself. People talk about grounding, taking their shoes off and putting them in the grass to feel connected to the earth. But if my mind is wandering, there's so many things that you're feeling that you're not paying attention to. So if my mind is wandering, I pay attention to the here and now. For example, until right this moment, I was not tuned in to this chair is making my butt uncomfortable. I've been filming videos for hours for Mended Light. I've been sitting in it, and now my butt hurts. But I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about something else. But thinking about that is bringing me to the here and now. I wasn't thinking about what my feet feel like in their shoes on the floor. But now I am. Physically grounding yourself to the here and now and where you are is a great way to focus your mind. If you're having a hard time paying attention, if your mind wants to go to the past or to the future or to some place of imagination or to solve some problem that you've got working on, tell your mind that you're going to give it time for that and figure out exactly when that time is so your mind can rest, knowing that, okay, At 9:30 tonight, we're going to spend a half an hour working on this problem. At 10 tomorrow morning, from 10 to 10:15, I'm just going to daydream, and it's going to be awesome, right? And that's when it's going to happen. But for now, I'm going to touch this chair. I'm going to touch I like to do this, put my hands on my jeans and just feel, because I can feel it on my fingers, but then I can feel the sensation going up and down my thigh of just me doing that. And that helps me to be present in the moment, and then I can listen better. For some people, you may need to draw or take notes. I listen better if I'm taking notes, because I'm doing something with my hands, and doing the two things at once helps me just to focus on what we're talking about. If you like this Ask a Therapist video, check out What Are the Symptoms of Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, where I answer that question and break it down for you. What helps you to stay present, to stay focused, to stay in the here and now? Let us know in the comments below, because we like to learn from you and have you learn from each other. If you feel like you need help managing your ability to focus, you can meet with a member of our team, one of our specialists. Go to mendedlight.com and schedule a complimentary 15-minute discovery call today to see if they're a fit for you and you're a good fit for them. You can also learn there about our membership site and a bunch of exclusive content that we have there to help support you and to give you more clinical material. Learn about that all at Mended Light. Thank you, folks. Until next time, keep shining, because we need your light.